There was a very interesting video I came across on the distinction between authenticity and attachment. And this was by, a trauma expert. And he's a very famous person called Dr. Gabor Mate. And he spoke of how when children are born, they have these two needs to survive. One is the attachment, which helps you to form a relationship, to be cared for and all of that. And one is the need for authenticity, which helps you to have your own sort of a blueprint function and express itself through you going through life, your life purpose, who you are individually here to do, who you are here to be. That kicks in, it's your gut instinct, etc. And he went on to explain it in great detail that I don't want to go into. It was very, informative, and I thought very confirmatory of the deep wisdom that we already know somewhere. And he spoke of how, because the parents and they themselves have their own suppressed emotions, trauma, and their conditioning, they unconsciously, even though they don't wish to, but unconsciously, the message that the child gets is that authenticity of the child is not acceptable if the child wants to be accepted and wants to maintain that attachment relationship. And this kind of a conditioning of very early childhood is the story of everybody. And it continues on in all, for all our life until we, of course, we become aware of all of this and we start to undo this, which itself is a process and consistent process. So he was speaking of this, and it hit me that so many twin flames, they go through this at some point of time or the other, that they start being authentic. Now it is time to say my no. And the fear comes in that if I say no, God forbid, people will turn against me. It is so deeply ingrained, the fear of saying no, that we automatically just say yes when we want to say no. We automatically don't say no. We automatically are attuned to the feeling of guilt or the feeling of I will lose this attachment or this safety or this relationship. I'm so scared to put my truth out there, to just simply say no, that I would much rather accept the low vibrational, experience I will have if I say yes to that feeling and go against my gut instinct. It's so simple. Let us say someone who is a friend that you think is not always around you when you need them, is a very flaky kind of a friend, let's say. And you notice that this friend, out of the blue, they start calling you and they message you and they say, can you come and meet me? Or you know what, I want to go to this place. Do you want to come and accompany me? Or something of the sort. And you are going through your spiritual, ascension and all that. And you already had a very tumultuous friendship with this friend in your mind. Maybe you've not expressed it, but you've seen that whenever you needed them, they weren't there, or you see that it depleted you the last time you went to meet them. It can be any of these situations, or maybe it's not a friend, it's an acquaintance or someone there is no deep connection with, or you've explored the depth and it wasn't really there from their end, or you've already been burnt a few times while interacting with this person, the vibration doesn't match. Or it can be that you have to be a completely different person to even hang out with this person. You still have to hold on to the facades of your old identity for that person to still connect with you, and the real you is not something you think this person will accept. So your answer is no. Your heart says, I can't, I don't want to, I'm in my peace and I don't want to say yes to meeting this friend or going out with this friend. But you have a problem. My God, if I say no, how rude will it be? Maybe I respect this friend. Maybe this friend is older to me. So there is an age difference where, by culture and all that, you are sometimes primed that I can't say no to someone older than me. Big problem in traditional cultures, right? Or some other aspect that you have, like I can't say no because it will be very rude. I can't say no because this is socially a very important person that I can't say no to. I can't say no because somewhere this person unconsciously, I'm not saying you know this consciously, is representative of some aspect of the relationship you've had with either of your parents, which is always a power based relationship, and you see the same connection reflected in this person, or an ex, where you had a very low power position with that ex in that relationship, and this person is representative of the similar power dynamic, and you feel intimidated by this person, so you don't want to say no, you want to put your best foot forward, right? Your insides are screaming no, but you say yes, and you go, you meet this person, you have a bad time, or you have a very neutral time, but you come back very confused and very down, and sometimes your no, which you're not able to say, and you spend a very long period of time, maybe a week or 10 days, 15 days, sometimes months, sometimes years, we put in relationships, in jobs, in situations, in friendships that deplete us and take away from us, and they feed on your inability to say no, because the fear that if I'm authentic, as this trauma specialist pointed out, it comes at the cost. Your authenticity is at the cost of your attachment, the conditioning you've had as a child. But you must tell yourself now that you're an adult and you can let the attachment fall. If it falls, if your authenticity costs that attachment, like if I say no, or I am myself, if I, God forbid, reveal my true self to somebody, which is whatever it is, may not be appealing to the social senses of people. If that happens, do you really care about that attachment? Are you a child right now? Most of you listening are not even in your 20s. Most of you listening are much older, much more mature and sensible, right? So just think for a minute. That attachment was valid only when you were a child. Now to seek that attachment from a person, is a very impermanent solution, especially for a spiritual seeker. Codependence is not promoted by the divine. The codependence you can actually have is only with the divine and your divine self, which is eternally in connection with the divine. And there is immense room for your authenticity. There is room for your authentic expression, whatever it may be. You can go absolutely, crazy if you wish to. And there is no from the end of the divine. So this is true. So sometimes, in religion, unfortunately, religion was just supposed to be very spiritual. It started from a very spiritual, idea, and it became very institutionalized into culture, and, religion evolved and all that stuff happened. And then it became a very mass thing where masses are kind of regulating how religion works, and religion regulates masses, and that interrelationship developed. As Marx said, religion is the opium of the masses. So it became this very big scale, large scale thing. And somewhere what happened is you started to believe that my relationship with God is coming through my culture or religion, or my relationship with God must come through the religious books that I have read or I have been taught, or it must come through the intermediary, like a priest or an intermediary, anybody. I would say even like a shaman in the modern day age, or like a priest or someone else, right? It could be a guide. Today you may think that those that maybe convey to you about the journey or the spiritual messages, sometimes you even give your power away, and you think that religion, or that these people are my conduits to the divine, right? Which is not always true. The divine is within you. So you started to export your connection with the divine to these places and to these things and all of that. And again, your authenticity was in question. So again, if somebody will tell you, you can be authentic and the divine accepts you for your authenticity, celebrates you for your authenticity, you may feel a resistance, and you may still be connecting with the divine through the religious lens and say, but my priest will not accept me if I do this, if I say this, or if I go against, this is my truth, and I start saying this, my God may not accept me, because the religious God, as I have been told through the intermediaries of books or people, or my own culture or family or society, you may even find this idea rather dissonant, that the divine accepts you the way you are. So it becomes your onus, it is your onus now to find that connection with the divine within you, and give up connecting with the divine through the outside, including through the guides and these channels as well. Okay, including this channel, I would tell you this: you are a divine being already. One can only point you in the direction and say, hey, go here, right? And that's as far as somebody can take you, but the journey is truly yours. And this holds true for the guidance that you receive. The guidance that you receive is true for you if it leads to an expansion of your heart, and it leads to you feeling very uplifted and you feeling joy after receiving that guidance. And it's the correct guidance, it's coming from those divine realms. If it takes from you, if it contracts you, if it seems very stipulative or prescriptive, and it feels like a burden to you, and then that's not the right guidance for you in that moment. You have to see how you get uplifted by what you hear. And you must know that authenticity is your true divine nature. The divine celebrates your authentic crying, your authentic laughing, your lack of hesitation. Hesitation, it is said, is a sin in by many spiritually realized masters, because hesitation means that I don't know, either I'm here, nor am I here, nor am I there. I know in my heart what I want to do, but I'm out of touch with that. So I'm still playing to that conditioning. And do look at the attachment aspect. You don't have to preserve your old attachments, your old egoic old self way of being that connects with everyone in a certain way. So you continue to wear masks in your social interactions with everybody all the time, being an imposter all the time. As you go through the spiritual awakening, you clearly start seeing, I'm wearing a mask. And that is why so many seekers become silent. They come in the presence of who they really are. They start abiding in the presence of their soul, and they exist as observers. And no longer do they feel the need to, respond to such nudges in that way anymore. You may be noticing it with your colleagues, with your family, etc. And as you do this, sometimes this fear will come that I'm losing everything. I'm losing my old connections. I'm losing how my sense of community that I maybe received, right? And that may be the case. But you must know that as a spiritual seeker, your sense of community, you have to first find it with the divine, and let the divine show you perhaps newer communities, perhaps a soul family. If you are ready, you're open, you're receptive, you're vibing at that level, maybe new friendships that value your authenticity, that say, hey, you don't have to be a reduced, run down version of yourself to interact with me, like your old friendships might demand, or your parents or your family might demand, your birth family might demand. But newer vibrations can only reach you if you're vibrating at that level. If you have self-acceptance, complete radical self-acceptance, you can start vibing with that. And of course, your 3D twin flame vibes with your total and utter and complete absolute self-acceptance as well, 100%. Right? It's a journey both twins are taking towards accepting themselves, towards their authentic selves. The karmic relationships are nothing but just a vibrational match to your inauthenticity. In your authenticity, you're one with your twin across all realms. So this is just a small message that I wanted to share, and I hope it helps you, and you understand that life is not all glum as sometimes the journey may make you feel you're losing it all, but you can also gain it all. The gain needs for you to become a new version, your higher version, which creates a higher reality, right? You should be open to losing it all, is all I'm saying. If you're going through a difficult time, losses, they're all part of the journey. Sometimes you may have a tendency to say, but I have gone through more than anybody else. And be aware of that trap of your ego, because everyone has had their share. It's not a competition to say who has had the worst, the worst, or who is worse off than the other. Don't fall into that trap of victim consciousness. No, you're very powerful. And only a powerful being will go through this journey right now, when very few, honestly, at least not as an absolute number, but definitely as a percentage of the total, it's a very small percentage that are awakening. How many around you are awakening the way you're awakening? How many in your society, your culture, your family are going through the spiritual awakening that you're going through? Very, very few, maybe nobody that you really know outside of the online communities, right? And to the extent that you're going through, it's a large extent, it's a full awakening. It's not a partial, I started to take the name of God, or I started to modify my behavior, I started to do yoga, I started to eat consciously. It's not that partial little bit, I'm going to nibble at this apple or this fruit for some time. It's a whole full awakening, right? It's a whole full loss of your old self. And of course it has challenges. So you're powerful enough to go through it, and know that it's okay to lose, because there is much to gain in your newer reality that you're creating. So I just wanted to leave this here, and this beautiful comparison between authenticity and attachment that inspired this. And you can work one-on-one with me if you feel called to do that. We do very deep work in these sessions. You can see the types of sessions that I offer in the link in the description, and email me to book a session at a mutually convenient date and time. We decide the date and time on email. You can also subscribe to my Patreon, where videos go very deep. Of late, I've been inspired to post a lot about children with, if your childhood, of course, none of you here are children, but if your childhoods had a lot of trauma and dysfunctional family and all that stuff, narcissistic abuse, sexual abuse, etc., then I am speaking of spiritual awakenings for those, because these memories come up for you and there's a whole different experience. So how do you navigate between the ego and your own consciousness in such cases? How do you let go of the pain in such cases of complex trauma? There are a couple of videos I've posted already, and I'll be posting more. At the tier 2 level, you can individually access them, and when you subscribe to tier 2, you naturally have access to tier 1. You can click on the second link and see if that interests you. There are lots of videos there for Twin Flame Ascension. I'm sending you a lot of love. Have a beautiful day.